The question is that everybody's been asking is, where does the wealthy store their money? And what should you study? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about next. So one of the great things that we do at Rich Dad is we study books. And one of the books that I studied was called Crash Course with Chris Martenson. And this guy is a genius. He's got a great story. He's got some really good facts in here. And I've had an opportunity to hang out with him a lot in Mexico. He's been up to my resort up in Sedona as we were looking at bringing that resort fully sustainable. So I would recommend Chris Martenson, looking him up, Peak Prosperity. But one of the things that I really learned from him were that there's 3 tiers of wealth. And I think you guys are going to learn a lot here because there's primary, secondary, and tertiary. And once I can lay this out to you, I can kind of talk to you about, once I kind of lay this out for you, I can show you how there's kind of a herd mentality into the top tier, which is the most risky tier. And so the 3 tiers of wealth, as Chris calls them, are primary, secondary, and tertiary. And so what I wanted to do here was just kind of walk through. So as far as an investment is concerned, you basically have choices. You could invest in the tertiary, you can invest in the secondary, or you can invest in the primary. So let me walk through what those are. So the primary is land, oil, gold, timber, coal, water. So you get it. So those are primary. So these are what you could call natural resources. So here's the interesting thing. This is not where most people invest. So now, I like to put land in here because that's what landlord, land is also, even though the business is in the secondary category, it really is something that a lot of people store their wealth in. Land, oil, gold, timber, coal, water, etc. These are things, these are natural resources. These are all things that come from the earth, okay? Now, the interesting thing is the secondary tier, which is basically business. So think about this. So let's just talk about Mobil Oil. Mobil Oil is a business, and they extract oil into their business, and their business is a functioning unit. Okay, it has income and has expenses, but they're getting oil from someone. They're getting it from you, they're getting it from me, or maybe it's land that they bought. Whatever it is, it's coming out of the ground, okay? Same thing with Weyerhaeuser, let's say, for timber. Weyerhaeuser is based out of the Northwest. I know for a fact that they harvest timber off of other people's land, and they have their own land. And so they're a business, they're a secondary business, and they pull timber, and then they turn it into lumber, and then they sell it to the lumber stores, which are also businesses. So there's a big, big world of business, but it all happens here in the primary sector. In fact, there is no secondary without primary. So in other words, there is no business unless it derives its resources from here. And this is where all wealth is created. So all wealth is created at the primary level, if you think about it. The problem is that a lot of people don't invest here. What they do is they invest here or they invest here. And so the last piece at the top is paper. So we have natural resources, business, and paper. And what do I mean by paper? I mean stock, I mean bonds, I mean ETFs, derivatives, and I'm even going to throw cash in here because I think right now cash is being printed so much, it technically is paper. It's fiat money.